I generally like video game pinball, but in the 8-bit era it's a little bit problematic. Early consoles and computers just weren't really able to do the physics engine well enough to make the game good. The ball physics didn't have to be realistic, but they had to be consistent. And that's something that a lot of early pinball video games couldn't do. Also, you had to have a good table. And a lot of early pinball games had an attitude of, put down some bumpers, a spinner, and a few targets, and that's good enough. Super Pinball isn't just a bad pinball game. It's one of the worst Famicom games. I think I'd put it in my bottom 10. How can such a simple concept be so bad? Well, let's hit start and see. No, I didn't edit in footage of a different game. When you hit start, it brings up this Mahjong screen. What effect does this Mahjong hand have on gameplay? Absolutely nothing. Even when you're playing 4 players and it deals out hands for everybody, this does nothing. Once we advance past that, we find the next big issue. That is not an artifact of my video capturing. The ball is constantly vibrating. I'm not sure if that's a disastrously awful attempt at floating point calculations, or if they just decided to jiggle the ball to try to randomize the physics engine. Either way, it's bad and it makes the gameplay worse. You can't consistently flip the ball. If you can't repeatedly do a shot, then it's a bad pinball game right there. But the physics engine in Super Pinball just takes it to a whole new level. This one is virtually unplayable. And then there's the table. Theoretically, it's a multi-part table with screens that line up vertically. In practice, it's a bunch of totally independent screens that don't really connect to each other. For example, there's certain progressive targets, like shooting this lane repeatedly to make the gate at the top left disappear. If you fall off the bottom of the screen and return, all of the progress toward that goal is reset. Also, you can't just shoot up from the lower areas of the table. You have to shoot into specific lanes to go back up. And the layout is just plain bad. The 2 sections that you're going to be spending 95% of your time on are effectively identical. Some bumpers at the top, a spinner lane on the right, and targets on the left. This is generic pinball table. There are some things that you can do to prevent draining out the out lanes. Roll over all the targets here, and that covers them up. Or hit all 3 light-up targets on the left. However, if you leave the screen and come back, those covers go away and you have to earn them again. On the bottom screen, there's a slot machine. It's the most important feature of the table. You can get 3 tires, and that'll add a block that'll prevent the ball from draining between the flippers. Or you could get 3 cars. This lane on the left-hand side normally shoots you up to the second screen. But after you've gotten 3 cars, it shoots you up to the third screen. And the third screen is where Super Pinball gets weird. Shoot the loops a few times, and that will open up the middle section. Then shoot the middle section, and you go into some wacky tables. There's actually a bit of creativity on display with those, but keep in mind, it takes a lot of luck to just access these. In my hour of play, I did it once. If there were multiple gates to enter these special boards, so they were a more integrated part of the game, well, Super Pinball would still be a bad game. But it would be better than it currently is. Between the wonky physics, the weird lack of progression on the tables, the boring table design, and Mahjong, Super Pinball is just disastrously awful. It's the first game by developer Soft Machine, and they make one more NES game. And weirdly enough, that one is interesting in a good way. Unlike Super Pinball, which is interesting in the sense of, how did you get this so wrong?